Yes.
Okay. Hello, my little pog sluts, and welcome to the chaos meeting of February 2014. Look at Adama. First, I'd like to start out by saying thank you for coming through. I've been pretty slammed at work of late because political mail. The primaries in California are coming up, so at the start of March, that's going to finally clear out. But until then, I've got about an hour and a half added to every day from political junk mail. Anyways, because of that, Mechanicus work and raid schedules are a little bit slowed down for me, but that's only going to be temporary. To our enlisted members, a generic reminder that there is a 2,500 corruption bounty on anyone you recruit upon their completion of cult. Getting more meat shields gets you some quick chaos bucks. Okay, group activity. Right now we are hitting a little slow season because of the various blockades. We're still averaging about 2 to 3 raids a week though, which is still all good things. Still good, all things considered. On top of that, I'm not available at my usual time to take out raids, so it happens. Remember when we're fighting less established groups like Ashguard to be mindful of advanced tech or AoE though. They are willing to develop gear to address holes in their armory, but they can only do so much in the period of time that they're around, and we've had about 10 years to flesh out our armory. So be mindful, don't throw a bunch of gravity grenades at people in doorways and shit like that while you're on sit barricades and having turrets out and yada yada yada, because they just don't have that kind of stuff, and it's and a little bit of bad form. Upcoming inactivity. Oh, hello, Scritch. Dude, it's the Skibby DB guy. Hell yeah. Anyways, upcoming inactivity. Mostly just Hadet. He's still busy focusing on work. He's also leaving the country for a little bit to get some in March from the 4th to the 18th. But he'll be back around after that. But don't expect to see a shit ton of him just because, he's also finally back to work since his eyes are fixed. Okay, next up, volunteering for Marauder. If anyone would like to try out to be an NCO, let us know. People picking up outgoing raids while the rest of us are busy is a great way to keep shit rolling and to advance in the group. If you're wondering what you can do to move up and be considered a core member and or part of command, that's where you start. Generally, if you have a day that you're going to be free on, and you'd like to get raids going out on that day, hit up an officer and try getting that scheduled. If you are a veteran, you are cleared to do this because you know the gear. If you're a renegade that wants to lead raids, please finish up your STDs because we want our OYCs to be able to answer questions during raids on what gear does what, and also know how to appropriately respond to situations effectively. So it's not a matter of you have to be a Marauder to take out raids. It's just Marauder is the people who are supposed to. Veterans can volunteer to do that, but we want you to know the gear so you're not, pulling out the wrong tool for the wrong job. If you're wondering how to link up to finish your STDs, simply ping a corruptor in our general channel to get their attention asking to do your STDs. Audio, for one, is really good about getting back to you and doing your STDs. It's a little bit time consuming, but, it is what it is because we want you to know what's what. Okay, general rank changes. We're going to briefly cover this. We are moving Adama up to champion as he is offered to pick up on directly training raid leaders, and outside of Dread, he's one of our more active raid leaders who has a similar mindset when it comes to OIC policies. We are moving Sam to occupy the champion role, though. His primary responsibility will still be focused around cult training and documentation, and they should act as a combination team for internal work as Sam has attention to great detail, but Adama has more rapport and can get more information out of people because they generally like him a lot more. Okay, Mechanicus stuff. As stated in the meeting preface, how do you say it? Preface. Okay. Mechanicus work has slowed down a little bit. Thankfully, though, the entire backlog for our vehicles is finished. Our next big hurdle to tackle for vehicles is the fleet ship rework, which will probably be coming around April to May once we flesh out the plan. Besides that, the upcoming priority, which may be snuck in during March, will be updating the existing Zinch gear as well as working on the Psyker HUD. A ton of that will honestly be effects work to make it as flashy as it deserves to be, but that's going to look fucking awesome. Additionally, we're probably going to be touching up on the sim build and reworking some areas just to keep it fresh. I personally like to get a different build out on a yearly basis at max. Right now, we're still on a regular full sim instead of a 30k prim count sim, so you kind of got to cycle them out in pieces. 30k prim count sims are a little bit more expensive, so yeah, we can only really have one fully fleshed out build at a time. In the future, it'd be cool to change that, but we'll see how that goes. There have been some complaints about the build by other groups about it being too tough to assault, which may be fair complaints, but as a reminder to anyone externally watching this video, unless you bring up those areas in a constructive manner that details the issues instead of hand-waving about something being too hard, things cannot be addressed and cannot be changed. OIC notes. This kind of ties back on what I said earlier. When you're handling raids as an OIC, we don't always need to go full force at all times. Keep an eye out for what the opposing side has, and pull gear in a response where appropriate. We don't need tanks or gunship out on basic infantry only raids, but feel free to let loose with vehicles in the last 15 if the target is receptive of that. The fun of who we are fighting also matters during raids, especially for incoming raids. If someone gets their teeth kicked in by being pushed back to the first point every time they're in our sim, they're less likely to enjoy ourselves. Not everybody likes that type of gameplay. Just because we can pull a really good flank to push back onto point 2 and then quick cap point 1 in our sim doesn't mean we should always do that if there is an enjoyable fight already going on point 3 or point 4. Next thing is covering community stuff. Again, a reminder in case external watchers aren't up to date or just listen to hearsay though, which seems to be a lot of people. The proposal of Eternus-style toxicity was shot down after a last meeting in command chat. That proposal was rushed out as a reaction way too quickly and was very short-sighted. We don't need to be as short-sighted as people who blockade everybody for whatever reason. If you're bored of furry bickering between your groups and don't like always having to ask permission to even pull anything that's considered escalation, we're always here. But you do you. And I think that was everything we covered. We're going to cover. Most important thing was getting Adama up and talking about Mechanicus shit. Does anyone else have anything else they want to bring up or cover in the meeting?
Yeah, I do.
What's up, babe?
The last point that you brought up, can you elaborate more on that? Like what I missed, what happened?
Oh, it's just people blockading us for whatever reason.
What did you mean about the Eternus shit, though?
Oh, Sam and Tyro brought up, should we go back to being toxic when people were blockading us because they were mad about it? But it's like, alright, whatever. Strellock brought up points of like, don't do that because it's short-sighted and it's not going to improve anything. And that was pretty much the end of that conversation.
I mean, I can offer my insight as somebody who did the command staff for Eternus and tell you exactly what like our policies were.
Yeah.
And to tell you if you guys are at all interested in how we handled like this blockading shit.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not.
If you're not interested, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's people getting mad about shit that isn't worth getting mad about.
Because I've been watching this situation from the sideline, and I had a lot to say about it that I wanted to share. But
right on. Yeah. Anything else for the meeting though? Because that's a conversation for later. I think if we are good, that is good, and let's go shoot some fucking prim. Oh yes, we should resonades on top of people because it's badass. You're right, Scritch. Thank you for the input. This guy right here, he fuck yeah.